Ivy League Gaming here, and today we're playing Dragonheir Silent Gods. For today's video, I'm going to do a deep dive into seasons, talking about the start of the next season, the end of your season, what exactly resets, what does it actually look like when you get your season settlement rewards. Let's dive into it. So there's a lot of questions that we're constantly getting, and I've been asking myself regarding seasons. I am on my second season. I've already gone through a season switch. From season 0, which was the closed beta 2 phase, I still have my same account, and that's going to go on to season 2, which will be my season 3. So I'm pretty aware of the way that things change. But I'm gonna break things down into some simple stuff to kind of explain what, I guess, this over here by my microphone. Please wait for the next season. What does all this mean? So, first of all, we're gonna talk about what does season reset mean for each server? What does it mean for new players? Then we're gonna talk about how to prepare and what to expect for that season transition as you go through otherworld exploration, unlock the resurgent dragon, and then wait for those whatever days of reset, and boom. How long before you really reset? Then we're going to talk about what you keep versus what you lose. Simple as that. There's lots of questions there and lots of it's frustration for some there, but I don't mind it, and we'll kind of talk about that as well. We're gonna also talk, about what the season reset. So, okay, the season resets. What does that look like? What does the season settlement rewards actually give you? What does day 1 of a new season really look like? What are the first things you really need to do? How do you connect your old account? How do you, choosing which server makes the most sense? And yeah, then we're going to talk about why I like seasons, and also maybe what I don't like about the way some of it's set up. But in the end, I think they're doing the best they can with a little bit of a complicated structure. So let's dive into it. All right, so topic number 1, what does season reset mean for each server? And what about new players? So season reset is, well, exactly when it says it is. Simple as that. So you can see your season information here in the circle. This is your world calendar for your server. And as it says, please wait for next season. It opens in X amount of days. So that's your answer. When this says you're getting your next season, you're going to roll right into your next season, the season 2. So it is different depending on which server you're at. If you want to be with the most up-to-date season 2 launching for the earliest servers possible, the only way to really do that will be to start a new account when season 2 opens. Because yes, new players will start on season 2, not season 1, if the servers for season 2 are open. Which, as you can see, for me is going to be in 18 days. Mid-December is what they said. So there you go. December 14th, December 15th or so, whatever that is. That is going to be when the first servers launch. Although there was a couple of days before that some servers started. Just a little bit early access for CBT 2 Season 0 accounts. I think Stu has that. So there might be a couple days earlier than I think for a new server starting, but yeah, if you're a new player, you're always going to get the most recent servers added to the game. So if you start before season 2 starts, like now, or within the next few weeks, within the next 18 days, you're going to be on season 1, and you're going to have the whole rotation of 3 months, right? And then you're going to have to catch it. We won't be on season 2 until afterwards. So it could be one of those things where you test the waters, play a little bit for now, if you want to really be on another season. But at the end of the day, it doesn't really matter. You're still going to go through all the story, the quest, the progression as a server. And honestly, the later you start, the easier it's going to be for you to get rank up rewards and have less crazy competition than everyone starting at global launch. Like trying to place on the day one launch server for the rankings for the best rewards is pretty hard. So it could benefit you if you started later. But just keep in mind that can throw things off for like the big events like Dungeons and Dragons collabs that just come out early in a season where you might not be ready for that early in the season, but maybe if you were prepared from playing for a bit as you started with the other season, reset people, then maybe it would be a little bit easier. But it's up to you whether you start fresh. It will be defaulted for new players to start on the newest servers, although people can invite their friends still. If you are an alliance leader, you can have an invite. You can set out an invite code where you can tell, or you can let people join your server, and then they could find your alliance. But I really would not suggest that, because if you're joining a server that's been out for a week or two, a month, 2 months, you're gonna be really, really behind everybody else with progression. You're gonna be like the weak link. You're gonna feel like you're doing nothing compared to your alliance if you're competitive at all. And unless you're a Kraken and you're gonna spend your way to catch up, even Krakens can't really catch up fast within the same server because everything is time gated as well. So it's a little bit complicated, and I would always suggest people just start on the newest servers. Instead of trying to play in an alliance with your friends, prioritize the alliance part a little bit less, even though they have a lot of alliance content, and just try to find a good alliance within your server, ideally. Or yeah, start on season 0, or sorry, start on day 1 of the next season reset, and you can start with a lot more of us, I guess. All right, the next topic is preparing for the end of a season. So, some people are going to have this, you have a UTR event. We had the Drist Orden event still happening right now. But after the UTR event, you head right into Otherworld Exploration. And Otherworld Exploration is like the same bosses from the UTR event. The only difference is you get these really cool guild alliance bonuses based on what your alliance does. Like I have a fully maxed out alliance bonus. So this makes completing those really hard Continental Challenge bosses, like from the UTR event, it makes them a lot easier, and they're now called the Chaos Shadows. So this is going to be what happens. You're going to be doing Otherworld Exploration. You've got to try within the time frame, like I have 6 days left, but our server's almost done with the bosses and everything, or the milestones. You got to try to make sure you do all of your points you possibly can, both personally and as an alliance, to get the best rewards possible over here before time runs out. Because once the snow sacrifice is over, that's like when Resurgent Dragon starts, and you won't be able to come back and complete these extra missions. You won't be able to get stuff if you missed your rewards over here. So that's part of like the ending of the season. Is the final thing of a season is Resurgent Dragon. And your snow sacrifice period is leading up to helping you prep for the Resurgent Dragon. As a server, you try to complete all the milestones, and as you do, you get special bonuses that make beating the Resurgent Dragon easier. So if your server does not do all of this in time before the Resurgent Dragon starts, then you have less buffs to help your battles be easier. And then on the flip side, once Resurgent Dragon starts, if your server is super OP and you beat it, if you beat the like total boss damage really fast, which you guys will see once we get rolling in 6 days, we'll be putting out content, I'm sure. If you guys beat it really fast, then you're gonna be done for the season, and you'll be waiting for your season reset. But that's kind of the reality. It depends on your server and how fast they kill the Resurgent Dragon for when your next season restarts to like the gap in between. So that's kind of the only like I guess, gray area as far as, well, what do I do in between things? It depends on your server. It depends on how fast you will be able to attack the Resurgent Dragon every day with, I think it was 6 teams, and you cannot use the same heroes more than once. So if it's the same as last season, which I think it is, that's what it will be. So you'll be prepping all of this, like Imperial Shadow and Otherworld is all prepping for that final dragon battle. And one thing I would suggest to do, knowing that your season's coming to an end, is kind of analyze your account. Like if you have plenty of people to work with, as you can see, my legendaries are getting pretty stacked these days. Instead of summoning for people you don't have, even more so, just work on what you got. Farm as much as your energy as you can every day into the Goblin. Get as many people to level 100 as possible, and that will help you get the best stats on your core team before you fight the Resurgent Dragon. And that could mean you stop summoning. So that's my reality here. I am saving all my Starlight die. I've got 191. I should have a lot more, but I'm going to be pushing my Feywild and Pillar and other content a little bit later. I'm going to save all of my Starlight die for next season. But I am going to be bad and be a dirty, dirty Kraken, even though I'm not a Kraken because I don't have that much money. But we're going to pretend I'm a Kraken. And I did buy the pack with the double up on the 100. I did spend $100, and I am going to summon more and max out my Drit Sword. And A5 or bust. That's a future video coming. A5 or bust. No regrets. It's not very often we get a chance to do this, and because I have so many great legendaries already on my account because I'm on my 2nd season and have content creator perks, I think it's worth it for me to do this for the sake of my enjoyment in the game and having fun with him. But you could say, all right, I've got only 2-3 weeks left. I've got 3 weeks left. I got 1 month left. I don't pull anything. And that's what I did last season. Last season, I stopped pulling my summons. I think I had one more batch of content creator Heliolite dice sent for the monthly rewards. And I just held on to them. So that way, day 1 of the new server coming, you could pop all your extra die and go crazy. And then you have better chances to get all the new heroes. Saving your Wormarrow as well for the end of the season, for the start of the next season. It's just a really fun thing to do because then it starts you off with a bang and you feel like you got a really big boost at the beginning, and it definitely adds to some excitement. So the other thing, as I just kind of mentioned, is along with the fact that you might have this weird time period of in between of like, okay, Otherworld exploration is done. We're on Resurgent Dragon. Resurgent Dragon's almost dead and we still have 6 days to go. What do I do for those 6 days? I just gotta wait and do nothing? No, that's where you can save your other content. And by other content, I mean anything you didn't finish in general. If you forgot to go back and finish all of your adventure chapter stuff here, try to get as many rewards as you can. A lot of this stuff carries over to next season. If you haven't done all of your Feywild, Feymeander, and your Pillar of Trial, like as you can see, I have not because I'm saving it for that reason. I'm saving this for Resurgent Dragon time because that's all we're going to be able to do is Resurgent Dragon and this. So this is what we're going to do for the end of the season, is push the end of all of this content because there's a lot of amazing rewards that if you're like, oh, it's too late, I don't really feel like doing it now, is it really worth it? It's the end of the season. I mean, this currency, a lot of it carries over. Scrolls carry over. Dice carry over. Wormarrow carries over. Again, dice, scrolls, Wormarrow. And then, of course, you get even more. As you go through the stages, you get even more, like, random extra Starlight and Wormarrow through some of the stages as well, besides what actually shows here. So, keep in mind that that can really help. Look at how much a slacker I was. If I just did all this, I'd have so much better resources right now. And yeah, Labyrinth of Curiosities. I haven't even touched it yet. There's all these rules for how much you can deploy. So this is going to be really fun to push this at the end. And I'll probably do some long live streams while I do so. That's kind of the end of the season. Now, let's talk about what we were just sort of talking about. What do you keep and what do you lose each season? All right, so you can kind of answer your own question here, or that question. I get that a lot. Reset rules, all right? Okay, reset rules. So, when a new season starts, and a certain in-game content will be reserved. You can obtain plentiful echo of Clepsydra from Otherworld exploration, and that gets converted into pure sand core, which will lead you to a shop, which we're going to talk about those season reset rewards afterward. But pretty much here, you're going to keep all of the heroes you get. Every hero you're summoned, don't worry, you're not going to lose them. They just get reset to level 1. And no, you don't get to keep any potions. Artifacts. The artifacts are linked to, I guess you could say, paid currency or premium currency, with the fact of spending your Heliolite die to summon, and then you get dupes, and those resources get turned into artifacts, right? So that is a premium currency thing, and you do get to keep those artifacts. They just get reset to level 0, and you do not keep all of your Essence of Creation for leveling them up. So Essence of Creation that you obtain from using Heliolite die specifically will retain a certain percentage, whether or not it's consumed or on your heroes. So also bonus will be issued at the end based on your season's progress. So if you summoned, all right, so rewards from last season, you get to keep 70%. So like I'm rolling into a season 3 technically, whatever my reward batch of Essence of Creation was from last season, it's going to calculate that, plus how much I've spent from dupes to get, well, how much I've spent from summoning to get dupes to use as Essence of Creation, that's going to get converted. And actually, they're really good here. They tell you total Essence of Creation obtained. That's a lot. 200,000 I've obtained. Expected rewards for next season. 63,000 Essence of Creation. It sounds like a lot, but you'll be surprised once you get able to level up your artifacts to like level 16 and beyond. That goes really quickly, so don't just start leveling everything up or you're gonna regret it. Still, be very specific about which ones you choose to level because this is gonna go faster than you think. But yeah, that's a massive boost to start off your new season with all the artifacts you had last season and then have the resources to actually level them up. But as you go along, you can only level them up so much. Like the first, as soon as you can place your artifact, you can only take them to level 8. And then as you get to certain journey levels, you unlock being able to take them to 12, to 16, and to 20, just like you did during the first season. All right, so pure sand core is saved. So if you don't use all of your sand core, let's see, in the new season, you can redeem rewards in the season shop of the corresponding tier. So if I didn't use every single pure sand core, it should carry over to the next season. Now, fully reserved. All right, you get to keep all of your Wormarrow, your gems, Dragon Crystal, which is the paid currency which you convert to Wormarrow, your summoning die, Heliolite die, and Starlight die, all skill scrolls. So keep in mind, this is another smart decision for prepping for the end of the season, is you might not want to use all your skill scrolls. You might want to save them so you can use them on new characters. Personally, I've been using all my skill scrolls because I've been really, really pushing the Chaos Shadows, and I really want to skill some people. But the good thing is, your heroes that you have with skills already on them, they're gonna have the skills on them next season too. So you actually, even though your heroes reset to level 1, if they're fully booked, you're still having a pretty well-boosted hero to start with. And that's gonna help clearing content easier and easier every season and give you more options of which heroes you choose to start with. And then anything unconsumed from the monthly cards will be reserved as well. The full list here is more detailed, so everything that's not covered will be reset. So if you don't see it in this list, it's going to be reset. AKA, you don't see potions, right? You don't see gear, equipment, forging materials. All of those are gone. And I know that's the biggest thing people struggle with is I have to go grind gear again. But you know what? They're adding new sets for one. That's exciting. But that's also part of the fun is like you're gonna have new heroes, new teams, new synergies to beat those bosses. They're adjusting some of the boss mechanics for a couple of them as well. So that will be interesting. Hopefully they don't make them too hard. We need to have one that's fairly easy to farm. Hope they don't like totally make Grave of Venom impossible. That would be really frustrating. But yeah, if you don't see it here, it's not reset. Or sorry, it's not kept. It's fully reset. So the scrolls you keep, all of that, right? Avatars, monthly cards, die, whatever. So that's the reality of the reset. Boom. And then you can see here in better details. So this does not make any sense. It says fully reserved. Ability points obtained in the last season can be reassigned at the new season start. Ability points. We don't have anything called ability points in the Psychic Core. I think they just mean like choosing your not this. This is not ability points. This is horizons. So these are not what they mean. That you have to work through and get these all over again in progression. You'll make a new character at the beginning, which I'll show you how. Your identity. I think like choosing whether or not to be an archaeologist or whatever, that's set. Elemental affinity. This is a solvent. This is not an ability point. This is not saved. I don't know what they mean by ability points, and that's something I think they just need to get rid of because nothing in the Psychic Core stays. Maybe they just mean the whole like elemental power, this? Like no, because you still have to wait till you can be able to switch it. I don't know. None of this makes sense. None of this is called ability points. And none of this stayed for last season. So I think that's like just an error, honestly. It doesn't really make sense. But I'm gonna have to try to clarify that in the future. But I just want to point that out, and I'll show you guys what happened with my last season with a little video clip. Completely cleared elemental affinity rules. Completely cleared the world. Once again, will be covered in fog. The map will be reset. But it's really confusing that they say the Psychic Core is fully reserved because it's not. You don't get to keep all of that elemental affinity and solvent. All of that is gone, and you have to re-earn that again. It's kind of the point. You'd be like super, super, super OP if you just started off. You'd be blasting all the low-level NPCs, right? So as you can see here, we're going to have things converted into rewards, which you can spend in a shop. So that's what I'm going to show you here. So at the beginning, this is what happens at the new season start. You're going to see this page. So like I ranked 22%, which is not great, but good enough. That's like me on the Starlight account. I barely played. I'm still in the top 20%. So you're going to get this little bonus ranking reward. And then all of your Clepsydra is converted into Sandcore. You're going to have access to a shop to spend that in. And you're going to have obtainable essence of creation, just like it showed in that little area. So boom. And then they're going to give you a little fun thing showing you which heroes how many heroes you actually had to level 100. I only had 6 heroes at level 100 last season. Do you see how much I have now? It's actually pretty crazy. I only had 6 heroes at level 100. Alright, and then dungeons, you can see how far we got. There was no Goblin Layer 3 last time. Frost Domain, Tempest Domain. I never even did Grave of Venom 9, or Curse, or Rot to 9 last season. I never took Rot past level 6 last season, okay? I got lazy. But it was a beta and I was just feeling it out and I wasn't overly obsessively grinding like I am gonna do definitely next season. But this is really funny to see how much I did not push last season. But you're gonna get to see like your best times and how far you did. And then yeah, gameplay, how far did you make it in Fae Meander? Only level 40. How much did you do in Pillar of Trial? None at all. Don't judge me. Yep, that's the funny part right there. So, what's going to happen for this season? This season, you can see how you are by clicking the season exclusive rewards. As you can see for me here, this is where I'm at right now. So season settlement preview, this what this is talking about here. You're going to get Sandcore, and then you're going to get access to a certain shop based on your ranking. So being in the top 150 is the best goal because you're going to get these special scrolls, which we'll talk about. They didn't have these last season, so this is new. But just being in everyone, I mean, top 95%, aka did you even play the game, are going to get at least one Heliolite die, at least 10 of these guys, and Warmarrow. But it's not about these. These are not the big rewards. This is not the excitement. Like, all I get is a few Heliolite die, thanks. It's more than that. It's the shop. So, all right, let's talk about the differences here with this. So this is a really cool summoning ticket. You're going to use these summon tickets at the start of a new season with a special event. At the start of a new season, they're going to have a limited summoning event where it's going to take one summon ticket plus a Heliolite die. And in this, each summon consumes one die, one ticket, and the probability of obtaining a hero of each rarity is the same. It doesn't affect your rates, but if you fail to summon a legendary hero in 9 summons, the 10th one is guaranteed to be a legendary. So pretty much 10 of these is guaranteeing you early pity, a legendary at only 10. 20 of these is guaranteeing you 2 legendaries within 20 summons. Right? That's pretty awesome, honestly. The difference with the rarity is the common tickets don't give you any boost to chances for summoning the new heroes of the season, where the epic ones, premium tickets, some of the new heroes are not available for summoning, but the probability of obtaining a new hero of the season is increased. And then legendary, the probability of obtaining a new hero of the season is greatly increased, and any of the new heroes may be summoned. So the epic ones have some heroes from the new season with a slight increase of chance to get those heroes specifically, and the legendary ones are going to have the best chance to get the newest hero of the seasons, and the entire pool of new heroes will be included in that boosted rates. So think of it, I don't know exactly, but think of it, like a boosted rates, like a 10 times event, like a special banner for new heroes of the season when you use these tickets. Plus, everyone is going to get a guaranteed legendary within 10 summons at the start of a new season. So this is really, really cool. I absolutely love that. All right, so what else do we get, right? What else do you actually get? Let's head on into the shop. Can I see... Where the hell's my shop? I could have sworn we could actually just access the shop from here. But right here, exchange in the corner behind me. So your season shop, like, all right, season 0, my season 0 shop, I only had the silver shop, not even the golds. I did choose to buy the frame because the little dragon claws with the wings look really cool for Flora. I bought all the scrolls that were here. I bought Scholar Scrolls, I bought Master Scrolls, and I even bought some Heliolite die. And then this is the thing here. This is how you're going to start your new account. You're going to start, I'm going to open up my video to show this, but you're going to be able to select your hero. I guess I'll just wait on that. I'll wait on the day 1 in a second, but this is the important thing to let you change what your hero looks like. Like, I'm not stuck with the lizard forever as my main character. But our season 1 shop, like, depending on which one you got, like, okay, we got gold. So if they're predicting I'm going to get like 1,300 sand cores, that's a lot of rewards. I got 125 here for the Master Scrolls. That's probably going to be the priority of what I buy, honestly, because scrolls are hard and expensive to obtain. Even the epic scrolls, I'm probably going to go all in for both scrolls before I even go in for all the die. We'll see. I might change my mind on that. I don't know yet. But you definitely will also buy the don't forget to buy the Misty Lens #1, because that's how you change your character, and then you can use it from your bag. But there is going to be a special frame, an avatar, and another avatar, so you're going to have some fun options depending on which level you make it, and you'll get more and more opportunity to buy scrolls depending on which level of shop you get. So this is where the excitement is with the rewards, like being able to buy a bunch of fun stuff to start the season off, or just buying a bunch of die to have a ton of summons. You want to buy 10 die to get that guaranteed legendary hero instantly. A lot of people can do that right at launch because of this. So that's going to make people have a lot more fun for their second season. All right, now let's head on over to YouTube. So at the very beginning of the season, I started off doing a sponsored stream because I was lucky enough to get a sponsorship to play this at launch. I was 90% gonna play it anyway, so I was really happy to get a sponsorship for a game I already loved. And well, this is it. So global launch, first 2 hours of gameplay. This right here, actual gameplay and 100 summons. That video is here. This is the reality of what a day one actually looks like. And I do have it in chapters. So season coming in, this is how it's gonna look like. You're gonna have no server selected. And what you're going to have to do, let me show it. Do I show it? I hope I show it. Yes, here. You're going to have your existing character. It's going to say they're level 50. This is going to be whatever you have now if you want to carry this character over into the new season to continue your season. You're going to select your existing character. Then you're going to select your server. And there's going to be certain servers available depending on your account. Like us CBT players that have a Season 0 account might still be restricted on which servers we could pick because they want to keep us together so we're not infiltrating all the newer players, which makes sense because we're going to be on a Season 3 and some people are only going to be on Season 1 that are just starting new accounts. So we should probably not be on the same servers as people starting their very first season ever, right? But this is going to be what you do. You're going to pick your character and then you're going to pick your server. And if you guys have alliances you want to stick around with, just make sure you're communicating on Discord. Find out what server are people joining with their alliance. I will try to post where mine goes. I'm probably going to stay in the same alliance if I can with ET and Scratch, Odd One, Arsalan, all those guys. I hope to stay there. Stay with your friends if you can, if you want to. So this is just like I showed you. You're going to get your little battle report when you go in, right? Same thing I just showed. And then you're going to get started. You got to make sure you download all your updates. La la la, you're going to start the whole game again with a story. But it's going to be, this will be new stories. Season 2 will have new stories, new NPCs, etc. New maps. So it should continue off the last story. I don't know how much of a catch-up period there'll be. There might be a few quests that kind of give new players an overview of what happened last season. Like, that was a pretty in-depth Child of Chaos story, right? So new players might want to know, well, what's the story before Season 2? I think they might have a catch-up period, but I'm not 100% sure. But you're going to start off just like this. So as you can see here, like, let me see if I can, am I scrolling through my stuff at all? Yeah, like, I have every character on my account. They're just level 1, right? And look at Voresh. He was already scrolled. He's still got his scrolls. So you're going to get to kind of choose which heroes you start with from the beginning. And my first advice there is don't pick fire no matter what. No matter what the synergy is with fire, don't pick it as the first few heroes you focus, because the fire domain is just really hard to farm if you didn't already learn that from Season 1. If you're a new player watching this video trying to understand how seasons are going to work, well, let me just warn you, fire domain is hard and it's really hard to full auto. So I wouldn't start with fire. You need other elements to beat the element you're trying to farm for. So you kind of want to start with something easier like the ice one. And then, yeah, you're going to go in here. You're going to select the Misty Lens to change your main character. I already purchased that. So then you're going to go, let's see, I think main character. Oh yeah, I get the Misty Lens from my bag. And then boom, after you use the Misty Lens from your bag, you're going to go back to the main character screen and you're going to set up your character. And as you can see here, like, there's no extra bonuses with the character creation. We don't have attribute points like it says maybe we do. I don't know what they mean for ability points, but we don't have attribute points. You start from scratch with a brand new character. So that's kind of how it looks. If you guys want to take a deeper look, that's a video I have on my channel. You can take a look at this whole switch. If you're trying to play with your friends on the same server, then you're going to have to get someone to grind really fast for the alliance as the leader. And they're going to have to, server invitation. Your alliance needs to be level 2, number 1. It needs to be level 2 before you can get server invitation links. But I honestly don't really like this idea of server invitation links. I mean, I do for the sake for people that don't care about progress. They just want to play with their friends and don't care about anything else. But for the most part, you're just going to want to start a new servers. So if you have to get invited to an older server, and if it's one day late, it's because the server's full. You can't join it anyway. But this is where the server invitation thing is, where you put in a code if you have an alliance you're trying to join, so you can join the correct server with that alliance. But new server list, you can start as many as the new servers come out. You can start multiple accounts. As you can see here, I had another one that I don't even know what that one was. I think that was my I think I was gonna start a second account. I don't even know what that one was, honestly. It might have just been one I tested codes on. I don't know. But anyway, yeah, that's it. That's kind of what the seasons look like. It's just like starting a new account, but you just have to choose your existing character first, then choose from the server list that it gives you. That's what it looks like. But yeah, why do I like seasons, right? So a lot of people hate this idea of their gear going away, their experience going away, and having to farm everything all over again. But it's a whole new experience. It's going to be new maps, new stories. They said it's going to be very sea focused, right? They said it's gonna have like ocean monsters and creatures and whatever, and new kinsfolk added as well. It's gonna be different, and to progress through all of that kind of new environment, the way that it's intended, it would be stupid if you were super OP. You want to be able to grind at a logical pace, and the intent is to let new players not feel like they're super behind. Like you guys know, games like Raid Shadow Legends, if you start today, are you ever going to catch those Krakens in Platinum? I mean, you can if you spend like an insanely high amount, but it's going to take a while. I mean, some games are a little bit more friendly about progressing fairly quickly if you grind well. I think Watcher of Realms is actually pretty good at that for being a one server game. But this is intended, like, if everyone starts on day one as the new if you start on day one as the new season starts, you are progressing with everybody at the same pace. You get the same level caps or story caps or whatever, and you have like a little bit more of a fair playing field to catch up and not feel like you're behind everybody. Of course, the Krakens will prevail, and those alliances will be crazy, and they'll be at the tops of the leaderboards and arena and stuff. That's gonna happen in any gacha game. But I like that this has this new fresh feeling of every season you can choose to start with a different set of heroes. Like this season I did the hard thing and I started mostly with Flora, and then I diversified to have some ice for I think farming that because it was really hard. But maybe next season, I think next season I'm gonna start with ice and play with Dristowarden right away. Why not? I'm gonna hopefully I'll have an inspired 5 Dristowarden. So I will probably go with a Frosty team, a super OP legendary Frosty team, but then I'm going to build like free-to-play friendly options to go along with them is kind of my hope. That's my plan. But that'll be fun to start with something different. Or maybe I say screw that and I start with a summoner team finally, because I didn't play with summoners all season. You know, like you can choose a different start. And that could depend on the synergies, because the synergies are also going to change. So every season, the synergies change, and I like that as well. You're not going to have the exact same team of 5, because all of a sudden you need a different support, different tanks, different whatever to go with your synergies for the DPS you're trying to boost. And I think that'll help keep the game fresh and exciting. For me, the most exciting time of playing anything is playing a new game for the first time, or starting a new account for the first time. But the grind gets boring, and yeah, we got to do the grind again, but it's going to feel different with different stories, different events. You can use different characters to start with. And I really like the format personally. I'm a big fan of the seasons. I just wish we were all starting at the same time. Like, I wish there wasn't this 3 months behind, 2 months behind, depending on when your server starts situation. I wish they just said, sorry, if you start late, your season's going to be short and you're going to join with everybody else at season 2. I wish they just cut seasons short for new players. Sorry, new players. But I think I've had a lot of new players say they would prefer that. They prefer everyone starts on season 2 together for the sake of the new characters, the new content, the excitement. all together. But don't worry, we're all gonna make videos on it. If you're behind, you could still watch and keep an eye on what's happening and what's to come. And you could always be looking up videos on the previous bosses you're stuck on, the different events you're now unlocking that we already did a month or two ago. You can always keep up on the content on YouTube or Twitch or whatever. But yeah, seasons, guys. I like the seasons. I'm excited. I hope that answers most of your questions. Feel free to let me know in the comments below if you have any other questions about seasons. And I'll see you in the next video.